What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kenzo for Life here, and today we're going to be talking about the Bethesda and Activision layoffs. What's really happening? This will be a 3-part discussion, part 2 and part 3 to come. In recent years, Microsoft has spent over $75 billion acquiring video game giants Bethesda and Activision. One of its first major actions as the new expanding owner has been laying off thousands of employees. Since early 2024, a significant series of cuts has moved through Xbox, Bethesda, and Activision, culminating in another round in July 2025. Confirmed reports state that projects years in the making, like the Perfect Dark reboot and Rare's Everwild, have been canceled. Entire studios, including The Initiative, have been shuttered. So, what is really going on inside the largest gaming company on the planet? This report will break down the official story, explore the industry analysis, and detail what this means for the future of Xbox. To understand the situation, one must first grasp the scale of these job cuts. The wave began in January 2024 when Microsoft cut 1,900 jobs across its gaming division, impacting teams at Activision Blizzard and ZeniMax. Then came May 2024, a month that sent a chill through the gaming community. Microsoft closed Arcane Austin, the studio behind Redfall, and most surprisingly, Tango Gameworks. Tango had recently released Hi-Fi Rush, a critically acclaimed, award-winning game that was seen as a creative success by many measures. Yet, the studio was shut down. Alpha Dog Games was also closed in this round of cuts. The layoffs continued. After more cuts in September 2024, Microsoft announced a massive reduction of roughly 9,000 employees in July 2025, with the gaming division once again being hit hard. Reports from inside the company painted a grim picture. The mobile giant King, known for Candy Crush, lost about 10% of its staff, or around 200 jobs. Significant roles were eliminated at ZeniMax's European offices, and core support studios like Raven Software were also impacted. Then came the confirmation of canceled games. The long-awaited reboot of Perfect Dark was officially canceled, and its studio, The Initiative, was closed. Rare's anticipated adventure Everwild, which has been in development for years, was also shut down. Reports also confirmed that an unannounced MMORPG from ZeniMax Online Studios has been canceled. This represents years of creative work being erased. How does a company justify these actions after spending nearly $70 billion on Activision Blizzard alone? The messaging from Microsoft's leadership has focused on long-term strategy and financial help. In memos to staff, gaming CEO Phil Spencer stated that these layoffs are necessary to position gaming for enduring success. The official line is that after such large acquisitions, the company must align on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure, a key phrase used in removing overlapping roles or eliminating redundancies. The argument is that merging massive companies inevitably creates duplication. And these cuts are meant to streamline operations. Phil Spencer stated he has to run a sustainable business, and that sometimes means making hard decisions. Company leaders also point to the external economic environment and shifts in the market. In a memo about the July 2025 cuts, Spencer acknowledged the seemingly contradiction of layoffs while the business is seeing more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. He explained it by stating the success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we made previously. We must make choices now for continued success in future years. The official story is that these are painful but necessary adjustments to ensure a healthy future for the Xbox brand. The official reasons, however, have stopped industry analysis from looking for deeper explanations. One widespread analysis points to the financial pressure of the $68.7 billion Activision Blizzard's acquisition. The argument is that to justify that price to shareholders, an aggressive, widespread cost-cutting campaign was implemented to improve the gaming division's profitability as quickly as possible. The scale of the layoffs, affecting nearly every part of the organization, suggests a mandate beyond just eliminating duplicate roles. Another significant theory is that Microsoft is undergoing a fundamental strategic pivot. An op-ed in Inc. magazine suggests that Microsoft is focusing heavily on an AI-first future, and that resources are being reallocated. This theory suggests that the high cost of AI development is being funded, in part, by reducing headcount in other divisions, including gaming. This could explain the closure of a creatively successful studio like Tango Gameworks. An acclaimed single-player game may not generate the kind of recurring revenue that cloud services and AI platforms promise. This ties into a third analysis, a clear prioritization of the biggest, most profitable franchises. The pattern of cuts and cancellation shows that unique or long in development projects like Everwild and Perfect Dark were cut, while the company protects its largest revenue source like Call of Duty and service platforms like Game Pass. Xbox leadership has stated a need to prioritize the strongest opportunities, which many interpret as focusing on predictable revenue streams over creative diversity. Where does this leave developers, players, and the industry at large? The long-term consequences are a major topic of discussion. First, the events have been presented as a warning about industry consolidation. For years, the argument was that these acquisitions will be good for gamers, securing franchises and providing studios with stability. For many developers, the reality has been job losses and instability. Second, the closure of Tango Gameworks shortly after the success of Hi-Fi Rush has sent a chilling message to developers about the perceived value of creative risk. It suggests that even critical and commercial success on a smaller scale might not be enough to secure a studio's future, if the project isn't a billion-dollar service-based franchise. This environment could discourage innovation and risk-taking. Finally, for players, the direct impact is fewer future games from these studios. The cancellation of anticipated titles like Perfect Dark and Everwild leaves significant gaps in the future release schedule. The idea of Xbox Game Studios as a home for a wide variety of games is being questioned, with some analysis suggesting it is being replaced by a more focused, profit-driven operation centered on a handful of mega franchises. So, what is happening at Xbox? The layoffs at Bethesda and Activision are the result of a multi-billion-dollar acquisition strategy meeting corporate financial realities. On the surface, the company speaks of synergy and sustainable cost structures, but underneath, potential strategic shifts toward AI and a cost consolidation of resources that has many questioning the future of creativity within the company. This isn't just a business story. It's a key moment for the gaming industry. It forces a conversation about what the future of gaming should be. It is a landscape dominated by a few massive corporations focused on a handful of major franchises and services. Or is it one where a wider variety of studios, ideas, and creative talents are valued? That is our report. What are your thoughts on the future of Xbox? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching. And also, if you appreciate this kind of in-depth reporting on the gaming industry, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. Stay frosty.